People, let's talk more Seahawks. And look, I've spent a lot of time on this channel over the past couple days talking about the clear and obvious chicanery going on in favor of the Green Bay Packers. But one thing that needs to be said as we move forward towards this final regular season week, none of it matters if the Seahawks don't win. If the Seahawks lose on this Sunday to the Rams, then none of it mattered at all. So the Seahawks do have to go out there and win a game, or else all this stuff was just irrelevant natter. So the Seahawks got to win, or else there's no point in even talking about what the NFL did, because what the NFL did is not going to matter at all. So let's talk about this game a little bit, and we got injury reports tonight. Thought I'd go ahead and go over them real quick, because right now it looks a little bit intimidating. The Seahawks had a fairly long list of players not participate in practice today, this Wednesday. Among them, Phil Haynes, who, according to Pete Carroll, had a pretty serious ankle injury. Sounded to me like Phil Haynes was not going to play in this game, which means more snaps for Gabe Jackson, which I know we're not all terribly excited about that, but honestly, Phil Haynes had been oscillating rapidly between a good player and a terrible player. I'm kind of disappointed in him, so at this point it's kind of whatever to me. So Phil Haynes did not practice. Travis Homer did not practice. With the kind of season Travis Homer has had, I kind of don't expect him to play, and I'm good with it. He was probably hoping to have a big contract year push this season, and it didn't really happen. Dude got hurt like 3 separate times, so would not shock me at all if he missed this game. Tyler Lockett did not practice, although Carroll did say he believes that Lockett is going to play on Sunday, and I believe he will as well. Doesn't seem like something he would do, miss a game like this with an injury that he was able to come back and play through on Sunday, by the way. So I would be very surprised if Lockett didn't play, but for the moment he's a non-participant. DJ Dallas, non-participant with the ankle injury, and that was a guy who was very important to our win on Sunday against the Jets, so hopefully that clears up. Noah Fant, he's been missing a decent number of practices lately, and he always plays, so I'm not worried about Fant missing the game, but he did not practice. Ken Walker did not practice, although that's another case where I kind of look at it and go, well, he's not going to practice, but he's going to play. It certainly worked for him against the Jets. He's going to miss a lot of practices right now because of the ankle injury, so at the end of the day, we all have a fairly good idea that he'll be there for us on game day. So that's not too worried about that. Quentin Jefferson has an illness. I wonder what that could be, but he's out. Uchenna Nwosu, this one's a new one. Foot injury, did not participate. I'm relatively confident he's going to play, but for the moment, he did not practice. Ryan Neal, still not practicing. Poona Ford, not practicing. So that's a pretty significant chunk of your players. It's a significant chunk of your good players. Hopefully this clears up in the next 2 days. We've certainly seen it before. Injury reports look really bad on Wednesday, and then by the time you get to Friday, it's not so bad. This seems like it could be a week where that's the case again, but time will tell. We had a couple limited participations, and this is going to be encouraging for some people and scary for others. Abe Lucas got in a little bit of practice work today. If he's practicing on Wednesday, sorry about my dog. If he's practicing on Wednesday, he'll probably play on Sunday. I think it's relatively rare for a player to be able to practice even partially on a Wednesday and not be ready to go by Sunday. So Abe Lucas probably playing. That's going to intimidate some people because of the nature of his injury being something that could get worse. But it's going to also excite some people because he's Abe Lucas and he's had a really nice rookie year. And now he gets to build on it in one more game. I think that's the likely outcome. Al Woods, also a limited participant, so he'll probably play as well. Granted, he'll probably play in a role similar to what we had against the Jets, where he only played like 20 snaps, but he'll probably play. And we also had a couple of FPs, full participations, Blythe and Jackson, and Bruce Irvin. Bruce Irvin and Gabe Jackson are both pretty old, so it's not surprising they're nursing things right now, but gutting it out. So no real concern about any of those guys missing the game. So it's a picture that is a little bit murky right now. I mean, I'm very confident that Lockett plays in this game, but what if he doesn't? That's a big problem. So Definitely need to see more information in the next couple of days, but this early injury report is concerning. And we're going to need some of these guys to beat this Rams team that, granted, they've got one foot in Cabo, but you also know there are some guys on that team that have a lot to play for, like Baker Mayfield. So I expect them to at least give effort. All right, let's also quickly take a look at the Rams injury report because that's also notable. Now, they did not practice today. The Rams did not actually have a practice today. They estimated participation based on their walkthrough. But nevertheless, there's still stuff you can learn here. We'll learn a lot more tomorrow, but as you can see, they've got their own problems. Some of their best remaining players missed practice or were, projected to miss practice. And with the situation the Rams are in, you got to figure there's no way they're actually going to play anybody who could go one way or the other. It would just be beyond silly to have somebody get seriously hurt now. I mean, as we're seeing right now with Jordan Brooks. Now, we still have something to play for. We didn't do anything wrong. But the Jordan Brooks thing is a good example of, like, you get hurt at the end of the year like that, your status for the next season is in question. So anyway, Brian Allen, who's been on and off the field all year, did not practice or was projected to not practice. That's a big loss. That offensive line's already beat up. Aaron Donald, I seriously doubt he plays. It would be weird if he actually came back for this game after missing so many games and having such an off season. So I don't think we're going to have to see Aaron Donald. Tyler Higbee also did not practice along with Jalen Ramsey and Bobby Wagner, but all three of those guys were resting or were projected. I don't know how that works. Like, they were resting. There was a walkthrough. There wasn't a practice. But if there was a practice, I guess they're saying, well, they would have rested anyway. So Higbee, Ramsey, and Wagner, you got to figure they're going to go. Ben Skowronek is the last really interesting one. He's a guy who's become relatively important on that team because of all the injuries, and he missed practice with a calf injury. And again, I'll say it again. Under normal circumstances, a player might be able to play, but in a game like this, where your season is long over, your team is terrible, you've got one game left, there's really not a whole heck of a lot of reason to go out there and risk anything. So Ben Skowronek, that's a name to watch for because he does some things on that offense now that would be difficult to replace because they've gotten so far down their depth chart at wide receiver. Now, Rob Havenstein and Nick Scott also got listed, but Havenstein practiced or was expected to be able to practice, and Nick Scott full practice. I'm sure those guys will play. Unless they just decide, you know what, it doesn't matter, let's shut Havenstein down for the rest of the year. That's possible, I guess. But more than likely, this is anybody who practiced today is going to play, even for a team like the Rams. Okay, there's your injury report, guys. It's not the ideal injury report. But we've got a couple more days left for things to clear up. I'm going to get this video up, and pretty soon here I plan on jumping on Twitch. So tune on in over there. Follow me over there if you haven't already. We're going to be doing Breath of the Wild tonight, I think. Maybe Lego Star Wars, to be determined. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks.